Righto, welcome to the ASC Crossborder Matrix, where there's a research project where we built detailed guides for startups and MSMEs navigating cross-border trade and expansion across ASEAN. Before we begin, I want to design this space together for everybody, not just between me and our guest today, but for all of the listeners as well. So this is what we call a safe place, meaning it is a place of no judgment. That means that we give each other the benefit of the doubt as we navigate some of these questions fresh. This is not a scripted conversation between us and any of our guests. So to be genuinely useful here, we need to be also honest. And sometimes the honesty, when they get a new question and we dive a little deeper, they are figuring those things out. Right. And that means that we need to give them the benefit of the doubt, where some things that come up, they might not realize is potentially offensive to one group or another. That is not the intention. The intention is to hold the space so we could be honest and professional at the same time. And that's how we can be professional while being honest. And that keeps the authenticity. So this is for all of our listeners, of course, as well as for our guests. And we don't need to have all the answers. We just need to tell the truth about what we have seen. And this is able to keep that authentic. So on that note, I'm going to introduce our first guest today, Shunsuke Miyatake. Wears 3 hats. Somehow all 3 fit. He's a project management and community engagement specialist at the UNDP's Digital AI and Innovation Hub in Cambodia. He's the founder of Phnom Penh Photography Collective, and he's also the creative director at Itonami, his own creative co-op. He's also spent years on the ground in Cambodia representing some of the biggest Japanese brands in the region, from startups to megacorporates like Toyota, and even His Royal Highness the King. Please welcome Shunsuke Miyatake.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shunsuke Miyatake. Everybody calls me Take. So call me Take, Ji-san. It is easier for you.
It is. That's also how I know you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So if you don't mind, we'll dive right in because there's a lot of great content to cover today. And we're looking at this from both sides, from Japanese startups and MSMEs looking at expanding to, let's say, Cambodia, as well as Cambodian MSMEs and startups looking at expanding to Japan. So there are multiple perspectives that we're going to be covering today. And there's very little content actually in this particular route online. So this, I hope, will be very interesting for people as we cover this topic, because there has been 60 articles that were generated from both perspectives. So today, we're just in this hour, we're going to cover sort of the most interesting things or the things that overlapped. And we will send a link into the podcast description where people can find the links to these resources later. The Japan name, does it help or not? We're going to some big ones.
Japan name, yes.
So our research says that the Japan name opens doors in Cambodia, but only for companies that look like big Japanese corporations. So for smaller operators or startups, it can actually create confusion. Did you see this, and what did it look like in practice?
As you know, Ji-san, I used to work for Japanese advertising agency, and I came here in 2016 in Phnom Penh. So it's 10th anniversary this year. And at that time, I was working for Japanese advertising agency, and the client was Toyota, the Japanese big motor company and automobile company. And the market share was top class at that time. And thanks to the people who are coming to this market and selling a lot of cars, making a lot of cars, and introducing different series of cars. And it was super easy for me to sell more cars, introducing new cars at the beginning. The first time I came here, Take-san, and everybody very respectful and super humble. I want to work with you. Those kind of attitudes from other colleagues, Cambodian colleagues, local colleagues, I could feel the respect for I was an advertising agency guy, but they were quite well handle me with care and respect. And I could see those kinds of cares and respects from Cambodian local people for all the Cambodian Ion Max Value, Honda, the bike, the Ajinomoto, MSG company, Pocari Sweat, the big pharmaceutical company, and all the Japanese products respected from the local people. I feel that. And at the same time, I was working with a startup and venture companies from Japan coming here and started. They are also well respected from the young Cambodian startup want to join Japanese company, want to join Japanese startups. Yeah, name value. The Japan is super strong, I feel, whether it is big or small. It depends on, it doesn't depend on the size. Japan name is quite strong and I feel that. And I really appreciate that.
Right. So even from the startup perspective, because startups are known for pivoting quickly, moving really fast. And what I'm hearing from this is that this wasn't an issue. They were still given the same amount of respect, even if they wanted to move quickly. And it might have, the assumption was that it might have caused confusion, but it sounds like no, the Japanese brand is so strong that no matter what side you come in,
Yeah.
there's respect.
Yeah, I think so. And this is not only about the business, but for the people, Japanese nationals. I think that is one reason is the Japanese government is supporting the Cambodian government and the people on the ground with the ODA and infrastructure support through JICA and the business support through JETRO. Those kind of government support is also well known among Cambodian people. And that is connecting and leading to the Cambodian respect for Japan, I think.
Right. And JETRO is the Japan Economic Trade Agency. ODA is the development aid. And JICA, if you can remind me, JICA again.
Japan International Cooperation Organization. Association agency.
Right. So this is also a trade agency.
It's an international aid agency.
Aid agency. Okay.
Development aid.
I see. Okay. So, I mean, that was our first sort of assumption ticked off. We hit that one pretty quickly. There was the assumption that startups would have a bit of confusion, but maybe not from what you saw in your decade of experience on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hit the next one then. So, when yes doesn't mean yes. So the resources that came through was said that because Japan gives so much development aid to Cambodia, Cambodian officials and partners treat Japanese visitors very politely, like you mentioned. But that politeness can hide the fact that the deal is not real. Did you experience that? How did you know when a meeting had produced something real versus when it was just a polite conversation?
It's interesting. It's not real, I think. Very polite and when the Japanese government officers coming, Cambodian government officials treating very well and with respect, with good manner. And they have a meeting, they have a policy meeting, they have exchanging opinions, and they have a lot of meetings, right? And every year, some important persons coming from Japan and Cambodian officials going to Japan and having some treat, having some policy exchange meeting. And after that, some change is happening or they are following what they decide in the meeting. But it takes time. It's not changing immediately, but gradually. That is, I think, part of Japanese way. Not changing drastically, but changing slowly, gradually. Almost it is nothing change, but it takes time slowly. I think that is real. And change is not happening. That is not real. Change is happening in very slow way. That is real, I think.
It sounds like there's a match between the pace, between the cultures that actually they are both building the relationship, figuring each other out. It's not that there's no deal or not real. It's just that it's slow.
Yes, I think so.
I see. So actually that's better context actually. So it sounds like there is a match. It's not that there is a big gap. It's that the pace of both the business cultures, or in this case, the policy cultures, work are around that same time. My understanding is that these two cultures are actually fitting in terms of pace. And it's not that the deal is from the outside not real. It's just that they're taking time to really understand each other, make sure details of the project or issue of policy is aligned.
It's not only about the policy, but the business. It takes time to get to go through the process from the bottom to the top, one layer to the different layers. It takes time. I think it is same with Cambodian process, business process. About the startups, much faster, I think. It depends on the size of the organization. If it is small, it's fast. It's big, it takes time. Government, much longer time.
Both very hierarchical operating structures.
Yeah, I think so.
So to whoever is doing business on both sides, it sounds like either way, you need to manage expectations on timing.
I think so.
Good. Cool. Our next one is one of my personal favorite questions.
So, how to get honest answers in Cambodia?
So our matrix says that in Cambodia, people often give the answer they think you want to hear. Sometimes that's not always the honest answer.
Now, this makes it very hard to understand customers or partners really think. And in your time in Cambodia, what actually worked for getting honest information from local partners or customers?
Yes, this is yes, and completely agree. In advertising agency days, I was working for Impact Hub as well, a small social enterprise supporting institution. And after that, I moved to 17 Triggers. I have to interview so many people, local people. And I'm a photographer. I take photos with my friends and talking to the local people on the street. And I am interviewing, documenting the life of the people. I want to ask this question, but they reply. I think they try to make me satisfied and say yes, say even though they're thinking a different thing. I think in the advertising agency, research agency, those kind of interviews, research activities, they will answer what they are not thinking sometimes. So we hired the local Cambodian, very good at English speaking or Japanese speaking, and not so much showing and looking at the people and making a very honest and relaxing for them to answer honestly. So that's the point, I think.
That's very wise. It sounds like you had to localize. So you couldn't get an honest answer as a expat or as a Japanese person. You needed to get a local to speak to them and next to them.
Especially with very local people in business scene, like people who are studying abroad or working abroad and coming back to Cambodia. People can definitely communicate as they are, but the local people and honest feedback or the thoughts, if we need to get and withdraw their honest feelings or honest thoughts, it is quite difficult for us to answer and get the genuine interaction with them, I felt.
Right. So this is both for big corporates and for startups.
In the Toyota days, in the agency days, it happened. Before making a TV commercial, we interview some candidates and they answer what they want us to think. But that is not your answer, right? It's obvious. And
How do you know that the answer they give you is not the honest answer?
because everybody says the same thing. Question A, the ideal answer is S, and then asking the same question A, and everybody says S, 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 S. No way. You have your own opinion, and it should be not S. Your thinking is Y, but you are saying S because you want me to satisfy. Easy to understand, easy to see.
Right. I guess it's your intuition told you something is and you only saw it when you analyzed the data and you were like, something is wrong here.
Yes. It's too easy. Why? Everybody is saying the same thing? No way. Like, it's easy, obvious.
That's actually really good advice for people doing any form of research or market, product, solution validation, because you
Are going to work off all the wrong data. What product to launch, with how to launch it, which influencer to work with, what region to go into, huge amounts of money invested. And you only find out it doesn't work.
A wrong assumption. It's assumption. We have to based on the fact, and their answer is not the fact, I have to say. So we have to break the assumption. How to break the assumption? We have to hire or we have to get the genuine local facilitator to get the genuine thoughts from them.
I remember this. Yeah, I remember the experience, and I remember
There were quite a few interviews where my teammates were like coming back to me quietly saying, gee, this is not what they really think, and this is not what's real.
You know that I was working for 17 Triggers, that is human-centered design and social behavior change lab. We have to ask why? And these questions and the process is quite tiring for the interviewee, right? They want to finish soon. So they are answering in easy way and short way. I couldn't get the point. We could not get the point. We have to ask more. Dig deeper. That was always happening.
wow, a challenge. Huge. A lot of patience on both sides. Okay. So there is truth here that getting honest answers is not easy.
And your answer was to work with a local to facilitate and extract information. This is excellent advice. Thank you. Right. So on to the next one. So for people in Cambodia, in air quotes, our matrix says that finding good senior tech staff in Cambodia is difficult. It says the best people come through personal networks, not job ads. From your time in the ecosystem, is that true? Where do the best local operators you worked with actually come from?
I think it was quite tough to find some tech talents, especially tech talents. It's very, very much needed and so much demands from the market. I think it is quite tough to find on the networking event or accelerator program or incubation program. Hey, I am Tage and you are tech talents. Let's work together. I think this would never happen. It is quite tough to find. And I have my own creative co-op, and I am like a business director, creative direction guy. I cannot design by myself. So I'm hiring and I'm working together with a designer, but I really want to have a coder or engineer and try to get on board some person, particular person in our team. Asking a bunch of questions and I could never find on the LinkedIn, on the event, on the accelerator startups meetups. There's no talents showing up. Every time, same people. I hate Tage again. I hate Tage again. I think the networks, private networks, strong connection related to what we need, asking friends related to that issue, maybe connected with a very related talent we need. So I think rather than going to the event and the meetups, I think it is quite important to find and dig deeper of your friend network, business network, asking, and all at the end, we might find some good talents. It is very difficult to find those kind of people in Cambodia.
It sounds like it's even harder in Cambodia because they say that number one important decision that most
Founders make.
anyway is recruitment, finding a co-founder. And it sounds like it's even harder in Cambodia because the network is not fresh talent that you need.
Yeah. Recently, I found some good guy on LinkedIn, friends of friends of friends, networking. And other friend is finding some nice talents from India through LinkedIn and inviting him to Cambodian market and working as a tech engineer. So it costs a lot, but to find the right person and working together, I think it is necessary investment. And using LinkedIn and technical network, I think it is pretty much important.
So does the development sector actually help founders? So for example, Cambodia's startup programs, such as the funded ones, are the main resource for early founders. But a lot of this infrastructure came from development funding, not commercial funding. So the nature is different. So in your experience at the UNDP and in the ecosystem, do these programs actually help business founders or do they serve the reporting needs of the organizations that fund them?
Okay. I think there are a bunch of support programs, incubation, seed funding, more mature funding, accelerator programs. There's a bunch of players coming from outside as well, Plug and Play, Techstars, and something seeds. UNDP also doing accelerator lab. Impact Hub also incubating, funded by some donors, right? I think the basic business support, development support, so many. But as you know, the IPO, no, not IPO, big funding or the, what was that? Yam24, bought by Grab. Only that, I think. During my stay in Cambodia for 10 years, only one big funding or the merge was so the business development, business funding, I literally see was only that one. The others were, I think, business development and funding, not business funding, commercial funding, but development, some support programs. That is real, I think. I just joined 2-3 weeks ago, Impact Hub, working with GIZ, and what is the name? Sam Dosu, the fashion brand in Cambodia, is funded by that program. That was feeling a little bit different from other programs. 500 startup plug and play and Techstars coming, and so many programs coming. But I think most of them are same for me. But Impact Hub Way is much more hands-on, spending tons of time with entrepreneurs, small SMEs, and supporting literally hands-on and sitting next door and talking their pains and the struggles and needs and solving together how to get a network, how to get business development together. And that is supporting, that is a real support which small startups and entrepreneurs needs. And I feel that those kind of human support is not a big money. It's not a big functional support, but Impact Hub is quite good in that way, I think. And entrepreneurs' appreciation and the respect for the Impact Hub, more than 10 years already, I feel from hundreds of small startup and players. I think that is a big difference. Money need and people need, power need, function need, so many things need for the small startups. But the genuine support is from the bottom of the heart. It's not about the money. I think that in that way, Impact Hub is quite nice, and I have to applaud them.
That's very unique. There's a lot of things came out in your answer before.
The first one was about the exit side of the funnel for startups. There is no IPO capability for Cambodia, actually. Not all that exists to even get to seed, you know. So I mean, Series A, B, or C even, and my understanding of the exit was that it wasn't very high. That ticket amount was what a Series A would essentially look like. Still, one better than nothing. And then on the other hand, you were talking about the programs, and it sounds like it's more developed at the early stage than what people traditionally think. So there is more support for this than what people realize. And I agree with you, these programs and accelerators, I mean, there's so many of these, and people are starting to see that just throwing money could be a faster disaster. Whereas the better approach is where a fractional, a CMO, CFO sits with the founder, fixes the balance sheet next to them, and actually does that work to get them funded or get them, ready for customers. Cool. So I think that rounds up the Cambodia side of things. We're going to look at Japan now. We did some research, obviously, before this conversation, and Cambodian restaurants, for example, exist in Japan. Tokyo, Fukuoka, other cities, mostly from Cambodians who settled there. And there's obviously things like Cambodian pepper, cashew nuts, mangoes, and things are starting to appear in supermarkets. But through Japanese importers buying them from Cambodia rather than Cambodian companies in Japan. It seems like the Cambodian commercial presence in Japan stops at food and diaspora. From what you've seen, why has it not gone further? Is it capital, confidence, connections?
Your question is why the Cambodian companies are not going to Japanese market? And what is the hurdle and what is the gap between that? Okay, that's an interesting question. Do they really want to go?
That might be the more important question.
Why Cambodian people wants to go to Japan, even it is quite hard to speak in Japanese and totally different culture and a business mindset? Do the Cambodian company get the benefit by going into a Japanese market, do you think?
The programs that I have seen, we are hearing of Cambodian companies wanting to go out. What I'm personally, now you're interviewing me, what I'm hearing is there is one, but there's almost a confidence issue. This is just what I hear. But you pose a very good question. It's very challenging to go to Japan versus to neighboring Vietnam,
Singapore, Malaysia, where you can speak English.
I think, I don't know, the neighboring countries, Vietnam or Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines is a little bit closer, and in same ASEAN region, same Southeast Asian countries. The Japan is a little bit far, and language and the structure is completely different. And I think if Cambodian company wants to go to Japan and expand to the Japanese market, I understand cashew nut, I understand mango, I understand the Samai Ram, they are going to
Yes.
Japan now because the Japanese people wants to eat mango. Japanese wants to eat cashews from Cambodia. They want to drink Samai Ram from Cambodia. But other techs, other startups, other businesses really solve any needs or difficulties which Japanese have. That's the question.
The fundamental question for any business actually is, what problem are you solving? That sounds like what you are saying. Why are you going? What problem are you solving? I think you've answered the question actually. But it's interesting because I didn't realize Samai Ram is looking at going there because that's a Cambodian company now exporting, not so much a Japanese company importing.
Yeah, they are exporting the ram from Cambodia.
So you've answered the question, but at the same time, you also provided an example of a story where the Cambodian company is actually exporting food beverage, agricultural type products.
And the cashew nut in Cambodia is bought by Vietnamese, and Vietnamese people using Cambodian cashew nuts and sending it to Japan. Why? Because Cambodia doesn't have process factory.
Yes.
If they have a processing factory in Cambodia, that is making much more value and making more profit, I think. So that's why Kampong Tom has a special agriculture zone, not the special economic zone, but special agriculture zone. That is quite smart, I think. And if they have a food processing factory, they can make more profit and they can export Cambodian national agricultural food with more value, with more profit, I think. So I think the Cambodian agriculture sector is in good way, and they will make more stable business rather than before, I think.
Okay, well, that's a great answer. Thank you for that.
So companies that want to get into Japan, the Matrix says that business relationships are almost always done through a formal introduction by a trusted person. Other approaches don't work, even if your product is good. So for a Cambodian business with no existing Japanese network, the Matrix points to two organizations. There is Jetro's J-Bridge matchmaking platform and the Cambodia-Japan Business Institute in Phnom Penh. Have you seen either of these actually work in practice, or is the introduction problem harder to solve than any platform can fix?
I think any business is not only about Japanese business, but Cambodian business also. We need to build the trust long term and talking and meeting and going and spending time together, build the trust and relationship, and then business start. I heard that from a Turkish friend working on cashew nut business and going to Kampong Tom so many times, making a relationship and trust, and they start working now. It takes time. And at the same time, they are working with Japanese people and it takes much longer time. That is true, I think. I think it takes a long time to build a relationship with Japanese companies and businesses. But at the same time, if the product and the service is good, even it is Japanese businessmen, they will say yes much faster. So it depends on the product, it depends on the service, and it depends on the quality of what you are doing, I think. And plus, a human relationship will work well for Japanese and at the same time Cambodian people. I think quite similar the Southeast Asian way, and Buddhism, how do you say, it's a cultural similarity between Japan and Cambodia. It's a respect and age and those kind of building relationship thing is quite similar. Is that answering?
It absolutely does. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I mean, you were saying that because this is about whether you need
someone trusted to get started. You're saying either way, yes, you still need to take that time to build that trust, even with the first person that you're speaking with.
I think this is very universal. In South America or North America or Europe, just call the business, hey, you need, I don't want to buy from you. It's too cold. Why do I have to buy from you? It's building a relationship and trust. It takes time anywhere.
How long would you say that it would take?
How long? It depends on the product and it depends on the service which we provide, but cost and quality and relationship, few weeks, few months, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, last question on this bit here. So, what Japan's quality standard means in practice? So, Japanese buyers expect everything to be perfect, not just the product, but how it is presented, packaged, all documented. In your direct experience of the Toyota operation, how did that standard actually show up? Was it about the product quality, or is it more about how you behaved and communicated?
All of them. I think I don't know. This is we grow up in that way. Like we have to clean up. We have to sort all of them and clean up the room when we were 3, 4 kindergarten kids going to the primary school, and manners and rules and obey the teachers. And this is the structure of the classroom. Going to junior high school, university, and company. It is all connected and all in the very similar social structure. I think we will follow the rules, and there is a social structure and the manners in that. It's like air and social pressure, peer pressure. We are aiming for perfect, like 100%, getting high score from the very old days. To get 100 points in the test, you have to study like this. You have to submit the assignment this. There is a lot of this, and rules. So that shapes our way of thinking. We have to be 100%. We have to be perfect. That's why most of the Japanese people fear the mistake. That is a very, very wrong way, I have to say. And I have to tell my kids, all the partners, all the friends, fail fast and learn faster. That's the best way to learn. Without a mistake, without failure, how to learn? How to be perfect without mistake and failure? So I was learning in completely opposite way when I was young and when I was a kid. After going to outside of Japan, when I was 20, 21, for 10 months, going around Europe and meeting with a lot of people, they are crazy for me at that time. I was drinking too much, and still I have to go to business now. I have to work now. Like, what is this guy saying? That guy was coming from Brazil and staying in Madrid at that time. I was delayed because of drinking too much. I was shocked. Oh, serious businessman is making a mistake and not going to the business at that time. Like at the age of 20, it was shocking to me. But meeting with a lot of different people, journalists, metropolitan policymaker, metro, working at metro, doctors in different occupation, and talk with a lot of people. And I decided to join the job, which I can meet with different people. So that's why I joined the advertising agency. And in advertising agency, it's more crazy people working together. creative people, strategic people, account people. It's all mixed. Right? Hey, Take, you should submit faster. We don't need 100% PowerPoint. We don't need 60% is enough. Fail fast and learn fast and make it into 70, make it into 80, make it into 90. There is no 100%. Aiming for 100% is fine, but don't do that at the beginning. It takes too long. So 60% is enough and pass it faster. That is the way. And then I changed the way. Don't think too much. Fast, and fail fast and learn fast and growing fast. I think I'm answering completely different thing, but yeah, Japanese people tend to aim for 100% and fear the mistake. But it's wrong. I have to.
But if it's not honest, it's not useful. And it sounds like wise advice to go from one extreme to maybe the middle.
Yeah. Not too much. Don't go this way, don't go this way. In the middle. That is wise.
More moderation. So how does a Cambodian business approach this type of consumer culture? Or B2B, B2C? Because either way, it sounds like they expect 100% already.
Yeah, I've never experienced as a Cambodian to sell something to Japanese. So it's some part of the assumption. But Japanese consumers and a market is super mature and they need a super high quality and all the packaging and labeling and the marketing words and outlines, taglines, colors, designs, everything should be perfect.
Yeah.
But it's super hard. Yeah, not. Yeah, I think all the time I'm advising the young kids startups to start from small. Don't aim for a big chunk of the big part, but starting small and injecting some part and make it a little by little bigger and bigger. Try and error.
Yeah, and then eventually gets there.
So it sounds like in Japan, you need to, like with what we said in Cambodia, you need to localize first. Would you advise that a Cambodian business also engages in a Japanese counterpart in order to enter the market to close that empathy gap?
But some design from Cambodia is well accepted by Japanese people. Interesting, not super local, but the French espadrille, the shoes design from European design, and function is nice, and the design wise, its shoes is cool, and it's not so cheap, it's not so expensive, it's a moderate price, it's nice design. Like that is Japanese people also like the ram, samurai ram, Chika's spirit, gin. It's nice design, nice taste, nice price. Japanese people like it. And the cashew nuts as well. The raw cashews, compared with the raw cashew, is well packaged, well clean, sanitized, well designed package is much more accepted by Japanese people, I think. So if you really want to sell some products or service to Japanese people and the Japanese market, I think you have to think about that design, what kind of packaging, what kind of price levels accepted by Japanese people. You have to research and ask Japanese friends. If you don't have any Japanese friend, I am here. So ask me.
Thank you. Hey, so
Research has one blind spot, which is it captures what people say happens, but there is a big empathy gap because it's not what they felt while it was happening. They say this much later in retrospect. So after everything you've seen in Cambodia, what is the one thing every foreign operator gets wrong that guys, consultants often don't mention?
Get wrong, but don't mention. What is that? About what? About Cambodia?
It could be either, actually. I'm curious. We'll go with Cambodia first. What is the one thing every Japanese business should understand about Cambodia before they make the first move?
I think one advice as a Japanese businessman living here for 10 years, I think this market, Cambodian market, is not for the profit, I think, but the testing some products or how do you say design or before going to other market like a big market, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, those markets, I think most of the Japanese company notice about that. So they came here to test the products or services here. And if it is accepted, they will move to the bigger market. That is one thing to the Japanese people who wants to come to Cambodian market, right? And the opposite side, like Cambodian company wants to go to Japan, one advice is I think most of the Japanese people wants to speak English and they are hesitating to use English because they fear the failure and mistake.
This keeps coming back.
Yeah.
Common themes.
They can speak English very well compared with before, but there are so many social structures, manners, and rules, and the rules we have to follow. So if you really want to go into Japanese market, you have to ask yourself 3 or 30 times, you really want to go to Japan to expand your product or making a profit through Japanese market? And your product or service will solve some real issues of Japanese people. You have to ask that question before going there. That is one advice, I think. Otherwise, you will make a big loss, or you will not be accepted from the market, and that's it. I think you have to choose other market before moving. You have to consider you have to really move to Japan or not.
That is excellent advice for anybody going cross-border. You get really clear about why this market, because you cannot copy and paste. Japan is a different beast itself.
Way different. And it is quite difficult to adjust those kind of things. And if you say yes, okay, you should go and start small and ask JETRO, ask JICA, and ask many government services. So you can start. And I could see some Japanese startups and interesting. I'm working for UNDP and collecting the digital solutions for public goods. And one company called Robocorp is working refugee-led digital capacity building company. It is super cool. They are hiring refugees from Syria, Iran, Iraq, those kinds of areas, and training their skills and making capacity. And they are working for Japanese companies in digital. So that is quite nice way. They are remotely working, but contributing to Japanese market and contributing from outside digitally. You don't even have to go to Japan. You can work with Japanese company digitally, remotely. There is a way, I think. So think your way to go into Japanese market. There's a lot of way. I think in digital part, Estonia, India, Singapore, Denmark, those kinds of those kinds of countries and government is well advanced. UK government digital transformation, that is super cool. Japan is now struggling in 50s until 90s. Government is supporting the industries, and the industries companies going outside making a profit, getting money back to Japan. But after 2000, so many internets, so many digital companies coming. It's not about government leading the industry. It's a company, over companies leading the digital ecosystem now. And India came up with the digital infrastructure, digital public infrastructure. They can deploy their system and services to the other countries. That is super important geopolitical topics. So Denmark, Estonia, very small countries, but they are leading those kind of digital spheres. In those kind of points, Japan is a little bit delayed. There is a chance to get in, supplement those kind of digital transformation. Tech talents, digital talents is well needed in Japan. Digital public infrastructure. I think we can talk 1 more hour about this.
That's a whole nother episode.
But I like that we ended there because we were speaking about meeting. I mean, there was a physical product, packaging, product quality, all these things. But clearly there are problems in every market that are hard to solve. And I guess what we're encouraging from across ASEAN and Japan is to open up their eyes, because if their market seems small, there's certainly other markets in ASEAN and Japan that they could pursue. But I will give a shout out to Estonia because it's only like 99% of the services are digitalized. This deals with the population problem, and so they use digital services to make up for the productivity gaps from population drop. This is very smart, and I think Cambodia is also pushing this initiative, thus us having this conversation.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, Taki-san. If people want to find you, we will put your details into the description where this will be.
This will be distributed everywhere, actually, your email, your LinkedIn and things, but we'll also put the services for both the Cambodia and the Japanese government agency services too.
So on that note, I'd like to give you a big thank you, Taki-san, for your time and sharing honestly your insight and all this wonderful experience.
Thank you so much for inviting to the podcast. It was super fun. And I hope my talk is a little bit too long, but you guys and the people would get the point.